Hey all, welcome back to our channel and thank you very much for tuning in. Today we're going to be discussing 5 things I wish someone had told me when I first joined the furry fandom. Okay, so the furry fandom is a wondrous place full of magical people and crazy creations. But even after 20 years, I'm still finding new things that catch me off guard. So these are the top 5 things I wish someone had told me when I first joined the furry fandom. Okay, so number 5 is that the furry fandom is very much pro-LGBT. Okay, so a third of all furries consider themselves just outright gay. Another third consider themselves bisexual. Then maybe 1 in 10 furries consider their sexuality to be other. And then there's a whole heap of trans folk to throw in on top. So if you ain't down with being around a lot of LGBT folk, you better move along, because you're probably not going to enjoy yourself in the furry fandom. While on that note, even if you are a straight furry like me, you are still going to get some furries assuming you are gay or bisexual. And they might even take a pass at you. I wouldn't take any issue with it, just take it as a compliment, okay? Of course, we can't mention straight furries without mentioning the memes. Number 4 on my list of 5 things I wish someone had told me when I first joined the fandom is that you do not need a fursuit to be a furry. Hell, you don't even need to like fursuits to be a furry. I know at least one furry who is terrified of fursuits. Fursuits are fun to have, and I think they look amazing, but they're not essential to being a furry. Maybe 1 in 10 furries actually has a fursuit. Someone having an expensive fursuit does not make them better than you or make them a higher rank furry just because they have a fancy suit and you don't. It just means that they had a little more money at some point. Now, number 3 on my top 5 list of things I wish someone had told me when I first joined the furry fandom is a little ironic for me, considering I am doing a furry YouTube channel. But that is that you do not need to shoehorn the furry fandom into every single thing that you do. Now, you may be absolutely obsessed with the furry fandom right now. You may want to squeeze it into every single thing that you do in life, but everyone else around you isn't. Especially your non-fur friends and family, they definitely ain't into it as much as you are. Don't force feed your neon pink sparkle dog fox hybrid down their throats. They really won't appreciate it. Wearing a furry shirt from time to time is fine and all, but wearing your ears and your tail to work or to school or whatever you're doing, that could cause some issues. I mean, there might be opportunities for furries to just naturally sneak into something you're doing, like you won't believe the number of Skyrim players out there who are Khajiit because they're furry. So, there is occasion where you can just, slide in some furry. But generally in your day-to-day life, try toning it down because you're just gonna get unwanted attention. Okay, so number 2 on my list of top 5 things I wish someone had told me when I first joined the furry fandom. This is a biggie. This is one I see all the time, people asking on the forums and on Facebook and stuff. And this is something you really don't need to do. You do not need to come out as a furry to your parents or your friends and family. The furry fandom is not a sexuality or a gender identity, it's a hobby, okay? With sexuality, you don't have a choice in the matter, but with the furry fandom, you choose to be a furry, okay? So the furry fandom is just a hobby, okay? It's a pastime, it's entertainment, it's not a sexuality or gender identity. You don't need to come out about it. You don't see people coming out as car guys or weebs or any other of their hobbies. So you don't need to come out as a furry, especially to your parents. It's just going to cause awkward moments. And the number 1 thing on my list of top 5 things I wish someone had told me when I first joined the furry fandom is that you need to grow a really thick skin. I mean, like, super thick. So the furry fandom is a melting pot of drama, and I guarantee some of it will find you at some point during your time in the fandom. It might just be that some furry's taking a disliking to you, or they're throwing some shade, or talking about you behind your back. But whatever it is, you just can't let it affect you, okay? You need to grow a thick skin towards this kind of stuff. And it's not just from people within the fandom that you have to worry about. There are whole groups of people out there who just dislike furries just for being furry. So yeah, if you do have a furry profile picture on Facebook, if you go down that route, you are going to get some people who are going to dismiss you just for being a furry. Or you're going to get some keyboard commando running his mouth off and thinking he can just badmouth you all day just because of your furry profile picture. You can't let it affect you. You just got to roll with it and, ignore them. So yeah, that is my top 5 things I wish someone had told me when I first joined the furry fandom. And I'm really hoping it helps you guys out, helps avoid any awkward moments in the fandom. If you think I've missed anything, please drop it in the comments below. And I may even make a follow-up video to this one if there's enough of them. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to drop a like, subscribe, share my videos around, and as always, Drop your comments below. I love reading your comments as always. And don't forget, at the end of the month, I will be doing the Instant Regret Chili Chocolate Challenge. 6.5 million Scovilles of angry pain going in my mouth. So tune in for that, January 30th, 7 p.m. I will be live streaming it if I can figure it out. So yeah, thank you again for tuning in, and you all take care. Ta-ra.